Well, welcome everybody. Milo and me are over here at Fountain of Youth today. Just over here looking around, seeing what we can find. There's a little bit of line over there. And it's supposed to be pretty nice out here, so we'll find out what it's all about. But we're right here at the Fountain of Youth, right here in St. Augustine. Okay, more later. Yeah, we're in line now. Fountain of Youth. Welcome to Milo's new adventure. And if you're in the area, this park is pet friendly, so that's good. Milo, come on, boy. Today's showtime. We got a lot of different things out here. Pretty bird. Imagine crossing the ocean in one of these wooden ships. That's a cargo hold. Crew. That's parts of the ship. That's what's supposed to be the gun deck. That's a gun deck. That's kind of cool. Captain's cabin. I thought that's a quarter gallery. Oh, that's the one below. That's where the crew, I guess, stay. Well, that's pretty cool. You take the ship and make a hole out of all that. Oh, that air feels good. What is this about? 9:10. Oh, I guess they've already started, I guess. Yeah, that's about what it would look like crossing the ocean like that. It certainly would be different going across the ocean like that. Well, let's see what else is happening. Ready, boy? Maybe we can catch some of these shows somewhere. Boy. Come back, boy. Come back. Have a good day, sir. Planetarium would probably be pretty neat. Might be headed into a dead end down here, maybe. Let's go back this way. That just goes to a corner down here. Come on, Milo. I wonder what's in this thing here, you know? Just imagine how many years that was built ago. Wow. Back in the 1500s. I hear the peacocks over there. What's this about? Look at the old cannons and stuff. And the old, whatever that is over there. Here's a cannon, this one says Spanish Canyon, 1750. 1750. Let's see, I believe it was used in the port until 1763 when the Spanish left St. Augustine and English hands. Yeah, pretty good. That's the cannon that I was reading about 1760. Wow. That's probably stuff like that. would last that long, you know. It is pretty on a little too far. Yeah. You think so? Over there, man. You've been smelling everything. Oh yeah, now you see them. Yeah. I try to release your rope and I can't do it very good. $200 million years in the making. Wow. They say this is the oldest city. The oldest city in the country. It would have been different living back in the 1500s. It's been a lot different. Look at these little grass cut things. Cool.
That over there is going to be the bedroom. Now the
I'm not happy with the hecklers. They're really bothering.
I'm so used to the
Okay.
So if I need to be a little bit louder, let me know.
No, you're good.
Why I'm trying to cut. Excuse me. Pardon me. Okay, so now. So this right here would be the kitchen. That over there would be the bedroom. Now the bedroom would be challenging by anyone's standards today. It is for the entire family, parents, grandparents, and children, about half dozen to a dozen people. Then, however, they are separated off by deer skins. Then over here we have ourselves the living room. Now, it's a little bit cold during the night. You do get that here. Then over there we have what I think is sort of a veranda. You've always got shade right there, and then a nice green. Over here we have wood storage here for our color. Now down below you'll be cooking, but up above we'll be smoking fish. Now this is an ocean-going culture, so fish is, of course, the main thing that's on the menu. They can actually get it pretty much year-round off the coast of Florida here, so they don't necessarily need to smoke it for, seasonal reasons. A little bit for backup's always a good idea, but really, the main thing they're doing with it is using it as a trade good. That is particularly handy because Florida is lacking in stone. You typically use, get out of the sun, you're getting hot. That you would typically be using for things like axes and arrowheads. So instead they traded to a culture further north in the Carolinas for a stone called greenstone. That lasted a little bit longer. Go to all that trouble, may as well get something that lasts. Of course, fish isn't the only thing on the menu. There's all sorts of things like oysters, clams, down to the ocean, shrimp, if they're feeling adventurous. Shark, of course, is available. You name it. Then on the land, there's all sorts of small game: possum, beaver, raccoon, turtle was on the menu, as was alligator. This is because they're very near the rivers. Apparently manatee was on the menu as well. There was a lot fewer boat propellers in those days, a lot more manatee.
Yeah.
Now you might be wondering about the bison appearing up here. It says that bison are ranging here into North Florida until the mid-1700s. Well, this is not the buffalo going across the plain. This is a woodland bison. Think of it as smaller, still kind of shaggy, but not as shaggy as a bison, plains bison, and able to get between the trees. About the size of a large cow, less meat on it. And then one main thing, of course, on land is going to be deer, a whole lot of deer. Of course, they're not just eating meat. They are cultivating a tremendous amount of the local plants here we have in Florida. There's berries and nuts that are entirely available, and they're growing all sorts of wild things like that. They're planting fruit trees. Some of them they can just plant wild. Some of them they'll be using the spring right here. Every home will be start off by being situated around a freshwater spring. We'll be channeling some for household use. We'll be channeling some for also growing the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash. Class companion planting. The three grow together better than they grow separately. Then you've got even peppers, all that kind of thing. So they have a tremendous bounty of food available to them. And that's probably one reason why the villages were set up the way they were. So this is a home, as I said, right here for about, on average, 10 people. The village of Seloy, which roughly translates as the village of dancing dolphins, was nearly 400 to 500 people. So that's 40 to 50 homes. Now that was a huge area though. It went nearly a mile going up and down the coast and a half-mile inland. So you had a tremendous amount of space between your homes. Now, these homes were not completely separated out. They're actually grouped typically in clan arrangements. The clans were named after animals, and you're typically born into your mother's clan. So there'd be anywhere from 2 to 5 homes in sort of a clan arrangement. Now, when it came to the running of the villages, it was a little bit different. Each village was run by what is awkwardly referred to now as a chieftainess, but she was the one who ran the village, and then the larger area was run by a chief. You might have passed a statue up there, Chief Saturniwa. He ran the area that went all the way up from Jacksonville down to about where Marineland is today. Now that's what we call a chiefdom. That is because the tribe was so successful it broke off into smaller chiefdoms. It was part of the larger tribe called the Mocama tribe. Now this down here would be the south end of it. The north end would be up about 100 miles up into along the Georgia coast. So absolutely huge tribe area. Now I still haven't mentioned who the Timucua were. The Timucua are even in a larger group. They are a group that speaks their own language. It is separate from all the other languages nearby. Nobody knows really where it came from. It covers the south edge of Georgia, covers a fair amount of North Florida except for the Panhandle and the very west coast, but pretty much most of the stuff north of Lake Okeechobee. And that's all what we call a language isolate, and they had their own distinct culture. The French were very much into kind of writing about these things, noted that the Timucua had more of a hawk nose, were more of a hawk nose people than the other natives in Florida. So they were kind of keeping to themselves. Now another thing about them was that they also resolved many of their conflicts through sport rather than war. They played a game called the Appalachian Ball Game because the Spanish didn't really record the actual name of it. But you played it 2 teams of about 40 around a central goalpost. It stands a little bit taller than I can reach. It's triangular in shape, and there's an eagle's nest on top for use as a basket, played with a rubbery ball about this big around. You hit the post, it's worth 1 point. You get the basket at the top, it's worth 2. Now this was taken so seriously that getting seriously injured or in some rare cases killed, that's what happened. It was at least your better alternative to war. As a result, you see things to me which remind me a little bit of pro-athlete culture. You know, they get away with, shall we say, certain indiscretions and that kind of thing. People will take care of their crops for them. They get the nicest home in the village. You get the idea. But at the very least, it was better than losing a bunch of the boys to war. Now, the Spanish also found them to be a bit more peaceful. Now, as you might imagine, this was a mixed bag for the Timucua. Going back to 1513, when Ponce landed here, that was nice, I know, I'll take it. When Ponce landed here, he traded with the Timucua for food and water. About a year and a half later, he's down in the area where Fort Myers is. He meets with the Calusa, and they trade spears with him. He did not survive that trade. Now, when Pedro Menendez got here in 1565, one thing that's often overlooked in the telling of the history is that pretty much all the other Spanish who came to Florida, they showed up with an army, somebody to clear the way, all right? When Pedro Menendez arrived here, he brought colonists, entire families, and that's one thing that made a big difference, was that the Timucua, well, I mean, even if they were more friendly people, there was a decent chance, they knew what to do with an army, but families gave them pause. So instead, they gave them a gift of goodwill. That was one of their meeting houses, could hold about 200 to 300 people. The Spanish then took that, reinforced with some earthen walls, cannons, and very likely a moat, and that would be out there in the water just past the watchtower out there. They called that Fort Number 1. When you walked in here, you might notice we call this an archaeological park. We are doing active archaeological digs. We had one scheduled for last year, but everything kind of fell apart in 2020. That's the way things go. Nevertheless, 2017, we did find the remnants of a wall that points out towards the water out there, indicating that that's where that likely is. Unfortunately, the Army Corps of Engineers did try to change the Florida coastline a bit back in the 1930s, so that's probably marine archaeology to find that one at this point, but still, we've got some pretty indications between records and finds here on the land. But that only lasted for about 9 months. So let's talk about the Timucua pre-contact. Pre-contact estimates vary. 20,000 seems like a decent estimate. Nobody really knows. We're talking about a fairly large area here. Then European diseases come through, knock out 70 to 90%. Again, nobody's really sure. Pedro Menendez, by the time he gets here, 1565, reports a population of about 3,000. Now there are battles with the Spanish, because, as I say, they gave that fort to the Spanish. That only lasted for about 9 months. Not the fort, but actually the goodwill with the Spanish, because the Spanish did not consistently get along with anyone. The situation, as I understand it, was that basically the Spanish were experiencing mutinies. They had 3 mutinies in the first 2 years, and that first mutiny happened not long after a ship arrived that was supposed to bring more supplies. It did bring more supplies, but it also brought more colonists, and it actually brought more colonists than the supplies that the ship brought. So it actually made the situation worse overall. So there is a mutiny that happens. The native Timucua kind of go to the Spanish and go, okay, you know, we don't mind helping you get this colony together and that kind of thing, but you guys are falling apart and more of you just showed up. How many of you are planning on showing up all together anyway? And as I understand it, the answer was something along the lines of, as many as God wills. And that really wasn't an answer which the native Timucua, appreciated. There's evidence of a fire here. The entire colony of St. Augustine moved from here, because this was the original site, over to Anastasia Island. They built a couple forts over there to continue their war with the Timucua before they returned here back to the mainland about 4 years later. They then built Fort Number 4 a little bit further south. Now, if not for that original Timucua rebellion, this would in fact be the heart of downtown St. Augustine. Nevertheless, the Spanish then returned. Now, one thing that worked very much in the Spanish favor was the European diseases. Besides making, softening up, by 90%, their enemy. The other thing that it did was that it gave them a very solid argument for conversion to Catholicism. They said, well, before we arrived on these shores, you were living blissful lives of heathens, but when we arrived, then you had a choice, okay? And if you didn't make the right choice, then, that's what's going to happen. And so they got a whole lot of converts over to Catholicism through this way, and the Timucua are largely shuffled into what is a mission system, and the Spanish build missions where the various Timucua villages are. Then in the mid-1600s, the Timucua have sort of had enough, because about 10 men a year have to come from every province to go and work here in St. Augustine. Typically they're building forts. We went through a whole lot of forts in those early days. By the time the mid-1600s roll around, the governor of St. Augustine says, I would like more men to come here and help defend St. Augustine. I'm expecting an attack from the English. Have them march themselves over here, bring the chiefs, and also bring enough food for y'all to stay in St. Augustine for a month. And this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And the Timucua rebelled. Now, the interesting thing about this rebellion is that the Catholic monks and friars, all of them, had nothing to worry about. The natives had no ill intent against them at all. Those places were entirely safe, and that's basically where their homes were, and that's where they're living. Instead, they went to places where they knew there were outposts of the Spanish army, where there were representatives of the governor here, and they went and they attacked and killed some of those people. They killed about a dozen of those people. Then, because they had been basically enlisted to build so many forts, they went off and built a fort out in the west part of Florida, and kind of holed up there for a summer until they got sweet-talked out of the fort, and then the English went ahead and executed most of the chiefs in
96 years, huh?
Along the trail, and that made them more of a target for the English. The English then attacked those forts in the early 1700s.
The spring that guy was talking about that they found right here by the river leads right out into the ocean. About 500 years ago.
Well, that was pretty interesting. Come back, boy. What's this guy doing over here? He's cooking up something. See a bunch of smoke going. Wow, this is quite something. What in the world? Ah, there's a big old cross over there. I think this is where the food is. We need some food, don't we, Milo? Imagine this guy. This is this guy's job, I guess. Oh, blacksmith. Blacksmith? Smells too good for that. I thought you were cooking up food there.
The carpenter.
I thought you were cooking some food. Some food.
Hungry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, we got a cafe out in the parking lot. They got pretty good food.
Oh, okay, okay. Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Try the barbecue ribs. Those are really good.
Okay, okay. Here, Milo, you want a little drink? Yeah, get your little drink, boy. I didn't hear what he said at first. Fountain of Pooch. Refreshments. Oh, it's got a automatic water feeder in there. That's pretty neat. Well, this is pretty interesting out here. Pretty nice. Picnic tables if you want to have a picnic out here. St. Augustine workboat. Okay. Come on, Milo. Please do not climb on. Oh, wow. Oh, my. This is what they would use to go after whales. Sign up there, something like this. Wow, that's pretty cool. But imagine going after a whale and something like that. Wow. Come on, boy. Let's see what else we can find. It shows you how to tie knots and stuff if you want to try, I guess. So you got the ropes here for you. Clove hitch, reef knot, round turn, and 2/2 hitch. Okay. Bowline knot, sheet bend. Figure knot. I guess you'd have to know how to tie a lot of knots back then, probably. Look how this goes right out into the ocean, though. Right there's the ocean. It goes right out there into that Halifax River. I think it's what the name of it is. And right out into the ocean. What does this say? Haul on the 3 ropes and raise each barrel. Did you notice that the block and the tackle using the most rope requires the least strength? £60. They're 60 pounds. Ah, that's heavy, all right. Whew. Gee, can't even lift that thing. It's nice out there. Quite a place. I wonder what that guy's making over there. I did find out that that was a or not a locksmith, but a blacksmith shop. And he's over there making something. Back up in there, you can see him. I'm not sure what he's making now. He was working on something when I was there, so. Boy, look at that anchor. Imagine how many feet that must have been in the ground. Look how old that must be too. It's rusted away down to that. There's a big old hook up there. The hooks to the boat. Or the ship or whatever. Boy, that thing's rusting away though. Let's see what this sign says. Site of the first fort, San Juan, built by, boy, I can't read those words. 1565 AD, destroyed 21 years later by Sir Francis Drake, 1586. Boy, that's a long time ago. Long time ago. Oh, look. Here's a cannon. That's what that guy was saying, that that this would have been St. Augustine if something didn't happen. Look at these old cannons. Oh, it's a shame they're just falling apart here. Rusting away. They don't look much like cannons too much anymore. They must have got them from out in the ocean. Go right down there, boy. Wow. 17th and 18th century cannons. These cannons were recovered from the various locations in Florida and the Caribbean by wrecked salvage operators. Wow. Isn't that something? Yeah. Just think how they would be blasting away at something. Cannon firing in process. They have those demonstrations out here too. It's all right, boy. That was pretty neat today. Pretty neat. Not too many people out here today. They say this is the best time to go early or late. Take it. Well, the only thing, if you come early, a lot of the shows don't start until about 11. So that's what I've been noticing on these signs. And so you'll have a couple hours before they get started.
There is some shows that start early.
It is nice up here. shady. You'll need it with the Florida weather. Oh, the old flintlock guns. Historic weapons. See, everybody's just getting their things together, I guess. I bet it'd be nice up here. Well, it's not open at night with the way it's lit up here. We'll have to come back. We'll have to come back on a... I heard in November they have like the City of Lights here. That'd be pretty neat.
Pose for me.
This is so cool.
Yes, Juan Ponce de Leon.
The Spanish conquistador.
This must have been what a church looked like years ago. Wow. See how they lit it up with the candles and stuff back then. We got a balcony up there. Very nice, very nice. Ain't it, Milo? Pretty neat, ain't it? Prayer of St. Francis. This is pretty neat. Guy mowing the yard over there. Spanish gift shop. I wonder how old that building is. Oh yeah. nice in here. Look at these things. A lot of neat stuff. Dream catchers. Yep, boy. Oh, Marty would have liked this stuff.
Thank you.
Got kind of weird looking face. There's some Fountain of Youth water. $5. They do have some pretty things. Have a good day. A lot of peacock stuff. Well, guys, from the Fountain of Youth, it's me and Milo down there. Wherever it is, there it is. And at the Fountain of Youth, and we're headed out of here. So thanks for joining us on Milo new adventure. And you have a very good day, guys. But you have a very good day.
He attacked me on the front and he attacked me on the back. He tried to get me, but
Have a good day, ladies.
you too.
Come on, Milo. Alrighty. The Magnolia Room. Oh, that was nice in there, wasn't it, Milo? Nice and cool. Come on, boy. We'll get back to the car. Boy, that's... We gotta keep him out of the bushes. He smells stuff and... Oh, that smells good to me. That food right there smells good. Well, baby boy. Did you have fun, Milo? Looking around? Yeah. Well, let's head out of here, I guess, boy. Okay? Let's go this way. Car's this way. They got a nice, real nice place to have food here. And up in there is where you go and order your food. So, and they got picnic tables and all kinds of stuff out here. So, it is a decent place to go to. All right. Oh, look at the peacock over there. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me and Milo on Milo's new adventure. Come on, boy. Thanks for joining us today on Milo's new adventure. Thank you.